Hi, folks. This is Dave with the Bit Journal broadcast. It's been a long time, so hey, how's everything going today? So, first off, before we get started, I just want to wish everybody a very happy Mother's Day, or at least what's left of it as of this recording. So, last week I was on an adventure over in New York City. Happened to find a couple of really awesome gems over there, so I'd like to show those off to you. Headed over to one of my favorite import shops, J&L Game Trading, over in New York on 6th Avenue. So if you happen to be in the city, go check that place out. Right over here, I found an original copy of Fire Emblem on the Famicom. I was very, very happy to find this. As some of you may or may not know, I am a major, major Fire Emblem fan, and I have to have the originals in my collection. These are actually my first Famicom games also, so I'm glad that it happened to be these, and to find this complete is really something else. I was just blown away by this. So, let's take a look at this. I'm going to pull this out and unbox it. We'll have a look at it, and then we'll try it out later on. So we're pulling this out of its collector's casing that the store nicely provided for us. As you can see right over here, we have this beautiful anime-style artwork. Now, if I turn it over to the other side, you could see Fire Emblem underneath the Japanese characters that are on this. Also says Nintendo right over here, good old Nintendo logo. And we have the Famicom logo on the side, made in 1990 in Japan. And there's the back of the box with all the screenshots and whatnot. This was such a pivotal moment for strategy games, just in general. This is basically a really important game to the genre. And as you can see right over here, here's the trays that they used to come in. It even has a little bit of that old school patina on there from age. Right underneath that is the instruction manual. We'll get to that in a little bit. And here is the cartridge in its original plastic. Let's take a look at that. Famicom cartridges, at least from the research I've been doing, they've been made in all different shapes and sizes. They were still all 60 pins, but they had different shapes, different sizes, and different colors. This specific cartridge right over here happens to be in black. Has a nice label on the outside. It's got some unique identifiers that identify it as an original game. You can look at, for example, this number in the serial, in the box right over here. It says HVC-VX. It's one unique identifier to know whether you've got an original cart versus like a sketchy repro or something along those lines. Now, over here, it's going to be hard for you guys to see in the camera, really hard, but we have this nice red label right over here. And while it's maybe hard to see where my finger is pointing, let me see if I can maybe make them more visible by bringing it closer to the camera. I don't know if you're going to see it that well. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I can't really show it to you as well, but there are two stamped numbers in the corner that say 00. Those are indicators that you have the real deal. If that number was just photocopied on the back of the sticker and it wasn't actually stamped in there, there's a possibility you may have a fake cartridge, but it's always important to look for these types of indicators when you're looking at these old school games. There's also another number on the back here. I believe that number is 880920. All just unique indicators that you've got an original cart. So, that's the cartridge, as you can see. Now, let's have a look at some of the inserts that came with this cartridge as well. So, looking inside of this tray, we have some cards. We'll pull those out really quick. Let's see what we have here. So we have some kind of a card over here. It talks about something to do with the original Famicom's AC adapter. Some documentation in the back about the original system. I really do need to get an original Famicom one of these days. But for now, I can play this on my clone system, which I actually also just picked up a Retron HD along with this, and I've gotten a 60 to 72 pin adapter, which is needed when you want to play Famicom games on the original NES or on clone systems. So pretty awesome that even on systems that we have here in the United States that we can still play the original Famicom games. Let's see. Honestly, I can't read this. I don't know what this is, but this is another card that came in the package as well. And let's see, what other original pieces do we have? Oh, I think this one is trying to explain how you're supposed to reset the game when you're saving, or you can lose your save file, because that's just the way things were with the it's kind of stuck to the bottom. I don't want to peel it out right now, but you know, basically back then when you had those battery backups, you usually had to hold down the reset button when you were working with game save files. You wanted to make sure you didn't lose any of your data. Here's the beautiful, beautiful instruction manual that came with this. Inside of this instruction manual right here, first off, is a registration card for actually registering the game. As you can see, it's got spaces for telephone numbers and addresses and all other kinds of stuff. What other cool things can we find in here? Oh, wow, let's see this. Here's a beautiful color photo of the world map inside of the instruction booklet. What else can we find? The actual Fire Emblem itself with Falchion right on top of it. That's a really cool version of Falchion too. Let's see. So we've got that basic layout for the controls. Anything else we can find in here? I guess a little something about the different types of units that are in the game. Yeah, there's all different kinds of stuff over here. A little something that explains the vertical, horizontal, and diagonal movement within the game. A little something that talks about the attack screen, which is really cool. Let's see, can we find any other beautiful artwork in here? Basically, it's just a lot of discussion as to how this game plays and works. Oh, here we go. One of the things I always like reading in instruction manuals are the character descriptions. And you gotta love this old school full color art over here. I do recognize some of these characters. For example, that's Marth. You see on the other side here in the red armor, the old dude, that's Jagan. If you were playing Fire Emblem Heroes, you'd be familiar with that stuff as well, because those characters all pop up in there. Shows you a good portion of the roster here. Artwork is very beautiful. Very unique. It's too bad we didn't get this in the United States back in the 90s. I don't know how it would have been received back then, but this is a very, very important game to the strategy genre. Since Nintendo did not let us know about this in the 90s, it was actually Shining Force on the Sega Genesis that got a lot of the attention of most of the strategy fans back then. So, that was a look at one of the games that I found on this little adventure. But there's a little plot twist here, my friends. So, not only did I find the original Fire Emblem, I also found Fire Emblem Gaiden as well. Fire Emblem Gaiden is actually in the United States. This is the game that Shadows of Valentia is based off of for the Nintendo 3DS. So, you know, if you wanted to know about Almond Celica's original adventure, this is the game right over here. Now, after I get done with this today, we are going to play a little bit of the original Fire Emblem. I'm just going to show you how that looks like and what that's basically about. And then, but before I do that, I want to actually just show you this really quick. So, We've got the original Fire Emblem here. Now let's talk about Fire Emblem Gaiden. Once again, we have some beautiful artwork on the cover there, full color. See some foreshadowing for the main enemy in the background. That's pretty awesome as well. Over here, we've got the Fire Emblem logo, the Nintendo logo as well. Now, on the side here, we've got the Famicom logo, the Nintendo logo. It says the game was made in 1991, but this was actually put out to market in 1992, which is, quite interesting considering the way they've got everything numbered. Let's have a look-see in here, see what we got. Now, this one is honestly not as complete as my original Fire Emblem copy, but it still has some nice stuff in it. So here's the tray. So you can see it still has the instruction manual. Has the original cartridge. No plastic on it, but that's quite alright with me. I don't necessarily need all that. Looks like the registration cards aren't in there also. But here's the cartridge. Once again, some beautiful art. Different identifiers. HVC-21. I believe that is over there. Is that the 2I? Actually, it's HVC-2I. Has a unique identifier on the back here. And instead of having a stamped number of 00 on the back of the cartridge, maybe a little hard to see once again, it would be in the upper right hand corner on the rear over here. It's actually a 09. When I roll my finger over this thing, you can actually feel the bumpiness in the stamp. So it's really interesting. And this game broke a lot of ground for Fire Emblem. It changed the formula a little bit. You know, if you guys remember how Zelda 2 kind of changed up the formula a little bit for the original Legend of Zelda, when they were still kind of figuring out, where the series was going. Fire Emblem Gaiden did the same thing in the sense that instead of you just being on strategy map to strategy map, you also had dungeons that you could explore as well, and that added to the gameplay and changed things up a little bit. And that's what made Fire Emblem Gaiden quite unique. But I was glad to show off these cartridges. Now let's show off some gameplay. All right. So first things first. I am going to pull out my Fire Emblem cartridge. And one thing I want to show you is how you properly play a Famicom import inside of an American system. So right now I am using the Retron HD. We'll do a review on that another time. There are some pluses and minuses for this system, but definitely helps me out with recording some footage at least. So here we have our 60 to 72 pin adapter. You're going to see it's got FC to NES, which means Famicom cartridges go up here, and you plug this into your NES system. You're also going to notice there's this ribbon cable over here. The ribbon cable is not used for top-loading systems, like the Retron HD. That's a top-loading system. This ribbon is actually used for when you have an old-school front-loading NES. So basically, you would plug this cartridge in like normal, push it down, and then when you pushed it back up to retrieve your cartridge later, you give a very slight tug on this, and the whole cartridge would come out nice and evenly. One other interesting thing about this is, so as you can see, the angles for the NES cartridge are towards the back, like they always are. If you look at a Famicom cartridge, however, the angles are at the front of the cartridge. They're not at the rear of the cartridge. So what you have to do when you have a Famicom adapter like this, you actually have to take your Famicom cartridge, you gotta flip it over like this, and it actually goes in backwards. And the reason why it goes in backwards is so the angles here and the angle here lines up correctly. That's the entire purpose behind that, okay? So, let me plug this into my Retron HD, and let's see if we can get this old cart fired up, get this thing started. Hi folks, so we're back, and now we're playing Fire Emblem. As you can see, there's a little bit of English in this game, but for the most part it's in Japanese. So, let's check this out. We're going to start on map 1. Here's a typical map structure, shows you where all the enemies are. You have Jagan talking, there's Marth. Here's the princess that Marth needs to help to get her kingdom back. She flies on a Pegasus. Martha's a lord. Doesn't ride on any horses, he just kind of fights on foot. Let's go and fight this thief first. The thieves are usually a bit quicker, so Marth's going to take a couple of hits here. Kind of funny how he expects to defend himself when he's got his sword up in the air like this. I don't exactly know how that works, but still though, believe it or not, I do have a great deal of respect for a lot of the poses in this game because, you know, they were pretty realistic with the horse movements considering the limited amount of pixels that they had to use to create this game. It's quite amazing, actually. Going back to 1990 when they pulled this off with technology that they've been using since 1983. You know, you really think about the time gap over there. That's man, that's like 7 years. Pulled off some pretty amazing stuff. Definitely a beautiful game. Alright. And to turn over to the enemies. As we have all of our players in place. And we're going to try to take that castle over there, where that one-axe warrior settled in. In the meantime, we have to have Marth go talk to those villages so those thieves don't destroy them. And also so Marth could get the rewards out of them, like maybe some gold to get new equipment, for example. Definitely important. In the meantime, the pirates are moving over the water. If you're wondering why these axe dudes can move over the water, it's because they're pirates. They have ships. They didn't draw them with ships, but they have ships, to say the least. Alright, so let's go in, attack this thief, take him out. There we go. Out in one stroke. But we don't want to keep using a rapier. There's a limited number of uses, so we definitely want to have Marth buy some new equipment, and we will do that later on, where I have this cursor at the armory right over here. But before we do that, we'll get to the village, and we'll be able to get some extra gold, a much needed boost in gold in order to purchase that equipment. In the meantime, let's attack some of these enemies that are coming towards us. He's our stalwart knight right over here. Got some hefty armor. He has the ability to use swords and lances. I don't know if he could use axes or not because I haven't actually tried it. But as you can see, he took almost his whole life bar. He's only got like 2 hit points left. And there's probably only 2 damage done to him. You know, deals some hefty damage to the enemy. Let's take Jagan over here, who's a paladin, by the way. He uses swords and lances. And we'll take this guy out. Like the little details. Really did a great job on the animations for this game. Now we're going to take this one out. At least try to. He's using a lance. He only gets 1 hit, not 2 with this one. Done a decent amount of damage. And he's also taking a decent amount of damage also. Alright, cool. Let's move some other units into place. He's going to move in with a sword. Get his attack in, finishes the guy off. Of course, I'll get more experience points for that. 24 experience to be exact. Now we'll slowly begin to move our archer in, but we want to kind of guide him a bit. I don't want to keep him too out in the open. Same thing with our Pegasus rider. She's got some great distance, but she's quite fragile. You got to be careful using this unit. Okay, there we go. The computer moving forward. There's the pirate trying to attack my knight. He deals 1 block of damage. Let's see how much he's going to take. Ooh! And the knight actually missed. He got lucky on that one. And he got lucky on that one too. Oh no, they're sending the archers in. That's what you gotta watch out for. All these other pirates are tough, but those archers you really gotta watch out for. Alright, let's send north over to the village. I'll be able to get a stockpile from the mayor right here. Look at that, 10,000 gold right off the bat. You can't go wrong. Awesome. I think what we'll do here, I'll have him go ahead and attack the pirate that's giving us some difficulty up top. Yeah, he's missing again, probably because of the water. See if we can get in a hit. Alright, at least we hit him with something. Now we'll send in the archer to do the remainder and take care of the dirty work for us. Hopefully this hit will go through. Ah, missed. Get the next one, please. Thank you. Right, took that guy out. Try to keep this whole team alive. If you're not careful, you can lose units permanently, so you have to be very careful the way you play a strategy in these games. Jagan got him in 1 hit. Nice. Take these archers out. Took a lot of damage from that lance. Actually, we'll go right here. Ooh, do we want to do that? So you gotta watch out for those 2 pirates up top. But we also have ones on the side here. Oh, what the heck, maybe we'll move in. Yeah, let's run the attack from here. Get the attack off. Nice. And we will keep our Pegasus in the background over here. We got all the units dispersed at this point. Let's wait for them to come to us. However, he may have an advantage hitting from the forest. Yep. But we're still able to deal a substantial amount of damage to him, so that's pretty awesome. Time to have Marth purchase some needed weapons so we don't have to keep using the rapier over and over again. Save the rapier for special occasions when we're going to be fighting the bosses in the level. Or the boss in this case, not multiple bosses. Actually, maybe I could have my Pegasus Knight swoop in on this situation here. There we go. That'll give the princess a little extra added experience that she'll need. Now, let's see. We need to solidify the line. 13 hit points here, 13 there, 20 here, 15 here, and 16 there. Alright, let's be careful on our movements. This one here. We'll place our archer here. Alright. Move on to the next. So this guy's going to try to attack Jagan. He took away 3 health. But we catch him with 8 on this one. Maybe we'll take another 8. There we go. Lock on. Seven hit per for 14. Not bad. Marth's got his new toys ready to go. Let's equip one of his new swords so we don't have to use that rapier. Nice. Use our archer to take this guy out. Have Jagan take this guy out as well. I had a feeling he was going to miss. He's got a huge advantage on the water. Luckily, he could take some damage, though. At least we got the second hit in, so that's looking good. Alright. Get the next turn in. Oh, he wants to go fight my archer. He didn't get a second attack in. But now we'll bring Marth in for the kill. Nice. Okay. Runs in and gets him. Cool. 24 experience. Getting close to level 2, that's what we're looking for. Alright, time to reassess. Let's see, how many more units do they have there? We only have 4 units left, we can work with this. Line up Jagan ready to go. He really needs to heal up. Actually, let's put him back here for now. That looks good. This guy could probably take a couple of hits. Gotta be careful with my archer, but I can keep him behind the lines for now. Just be really, really careful with the Pegasus Knight. Okay. Looks like the computer doesn't want to move at this moment. He recovered to 15 hit points. We'll bring him here for now. Perhaps we'll give Worth an opportunity to heal up. Scatter our line a little bit. Worth's got his full hit points back. That's always a good thing. Let's first move our units out. Nice. Put Jake in here, give him a little bit of a cover advantage. Out, ready to go. And here. And let's get Worth down here. I guess I'm gonna have to put him down here. That's as far as he's gonna go. Okay, cool. Worth will take the city for now. We'll give him a good protection squad. There we go. Get this all fired up. This pirate's gonna try to attack Jagan. Let's see how he does with that. Jagan always does a nice amount of damage to these guys. Oh, Jaden just went to level 2. Sweet. Let's take this guy out. Oh, missed. Maybe we'll get him on a second hit. Good. Martha's almost at level 2 as well. That's something I'm definitely looking forward to. Looks like you can't move that way. missed that time. Oh, they still got the attacks going through. Nice. I want Marth to get over to that village. Because the minute he gets over to that village, we can get a healing unit. But you know what? Before I do that, let me have him finish off the attack here. There we go. That'll get Marth leveled up for our next battle. Which is going to be against the boss, which is definitely important. Alright, take out this guy. Gonna get my archer into position too. This is gonna be important when taking out the boss. Because Marth cannot do it alone considering his amount of hit points. So we'll talk here. The monk will come out to help us. I think we'll move him into place here. Move this guy in to soften the boss up a bit. At least he dealt a little bit of damage to him. Now before we run an attack, let's have our archer try to soften him up one more time. And then we'll have Marth move in with the rapier. Ah, he missed. Not good. And he missed again. At least we got a monk that can heal him up. Gotta be really careful. He's not getting any hits in, not good. Come on, Marth, what are you doing, man? Try to catch him with the silver arrow this time around. This time I think it would be wise to move Marth, get him healed up. Get this going again. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. think we're going to give Marth the Iron Sword this time around. Let him mess around with that instead. There we go. Not good. Man. I just want Marth to get the experience for this one, I'm not going to lie to you on that. So let's move him back again. Let him get healed up. Keep the attack going with the steel arrows. Go. Send Marth in, hopefully for before I send Marth in for the kill. Oh, looks like we don't have to because our archer just took care of the job. Well, at least he gets leveled up. Alright, folks. So, this has been Fire Emblem for the Famicom. Hope you enjoyed this video. I know it took a little while because I definitely wanted to go through the first map to show you guys what this is all about. I really enjoyed the Fire Emblem series, no doubt. I would have to say this game, considering all it did technologically for its time period, I would definitely have to give this game a 10 out of 10. I just love playing it. It's enjoyable. They put a really decent amount of work into the animation. The characters look awesome. The strategy is awesome. And it's a challenge. Definitely enjoy it. So, thanks again for watching, folks. Take care. Definitely, once again, have a happy Mother's Day. And like always, peace! See you in the next video. Talk to you later now. If you liked what you've seen, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll talk to you later. Have a great one. Bye-bye.